welcome to my channel Mollers Online Economics. Here we provide classes on economics for various papers from Disney College Economics Department. And before going into the detail, I would like to request you to subscribe the channel, not only my channel but also the channels of other teachers, so that you can get regular classes. Today we will be doing BA first semester economics major. We will be starting the topic on video mode, and all of you belong to Baudelaire University, but the syllabus of Baudelaire University first semester and Guwahati University first semester economics major is not much different. The topic which I will be dealing today is there also in Guwahati University, but more than that, the topic which I am going to discuss today is very much important for throughout the BA course, even BA or Masters, because it will be dealing with the concepts. If you understand this thing, in the coming years also, in other papers, say for example in the mathematical economics also, you will be very easily getting the points. You will be understanding the topics. So I'll request you to watch the video very carefully, and if you miss something, if you don't understand something, repeat and watch again, so that you understand, you have full concept of what I am discussing today. Today's topic is very much important, and it's the beginning. So I'll be dealing with microeconomics, and today's topic is the basic concepts of your dependent variable, independent variable, exogenous variable and endogenous variable. What are these things? There will be slight mathematical touch for making these concepts clear to you, because to understand the concept more in a convenient way, you have to have some touch of mathematical elements here. Whatever, let us see. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. I'll be not giving you bookish definition. I'll be giving you definitions which come from my mind, and you will be understanding that thing like that. After that, you will go to the book and read. Then you will be relating the things. Okay. So the first thing which we have to discuss is, I want to say, dependent variable and independent variable. Now, before going to that, we have to understand that what are variables and what are constants. There are something which are called variables, and there are something which is called constant. Variable which changes, constant which do not change. Now, saying all these things will not make you understand. You have to understand with example. If I give example, then you will be able to understand what I am saying. So let us first take one function, so that it will be clear. Say y is a function of x. Y is a function of x, and the functional form is y equal to a plus b x. Y equal to a plus bx. There are two variables here. X and y are variable. A and b are constant. Now you first understand why x and y are variable and a and b are constant. So let us first take this. We will be going step by step. So first we understand what is variable, what is constant. This is a symbolic model. Let us give a realistic model. Y equal to say 4 plus 2x. So this type of things you got in your class 8, 9. These are functions in a real form. From there we can make graph, whatever. Now if you want to know the value of x, value of y when x equal to 1, you can understand, you can know it. 2 into 1, 2 plus 4, 6. So how it is? Then it will be y equal to Acha, okay. Let me write it. 1, 6. If 2, if x equal to 2, x equal to 2, y equal to 4 plus 4, 8. Now with these two things I can explain. Now you see, you write it. First one. In case of y, you write 6 equal to 4 plus 2 into 1. Okay? What I am writing? I am writing this thing. When x equal to 1, y equal to 6. We find out by calculation. Now this calculation I am writing here. You see? The value of y comes 6 and we took x as 1, the 4 plus 2 into 1. So this will be 6. Okay. Let me do again. Let me write it. So how we can write it? Y equal to 8 equal to 4 plus 2 into 2. 2 into 4, 4 plus 4, 8. So what is happening here, you see, this value is changing. This value is changing, but these values are never changing. That means values of a and b are never changing. So they are constant. Who are changing? These are changing. X and y are changing. So they are called variables. I hope it's clear. Nothing can be done to make it more easier. Sorry. Yeah. So from here we have understood what is variable, what is constant. But your topic is dependent variable and independent variable. So before going to that, let me define all the terms. So this one is called, I'll explain why. This one is called dependent variable. This A is called, you have to write it in your note copy. This A is called intercept. And this B is called slope. And this X is called independent variable. Okay. Dependent variable, intercept, slope and independent variable. From the name it is clear why it is called dependent variable and why it is called independent variable. I will explain it with the help of example so that you can understand. Dependent means this y is depending on this function. X is independent means it is not depending on y, it is independent, it is free. Okay. Again, you do not understand this thing. No worry. When we take the example, it will be very much clear. I hope you have written all this. So let me take one function. Y equal to 4 plus 2x. Now, you see, I want to know the various values of, or I want to make a graph. I want to make a graph. So how can I make a graph? I have to take the values of x. You did it in your class 8 or class 9, I hope. So x value is say 0. X value is 0. If x is 0, if we assume, from where 0 comes, we assume when x equal to 0. So if x equal to 0, what is the value of y? You see, 0 into 2, 0, it is 4. Now you take another value, any value, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me take really 1. 1. X equal to 1, then y equal to 6. You can get it. Simple calculation. When x equal to 2, y equal to 8. Okay. Now you see, you get the values of y on depending on the values of x, yes or no? You get the values of y depending on the values of x. So that's why x is called dependent variable. I think this is clear. And why x is independent variable? Because x I have assumed from myself. Let me take it 0, let me take it 1. You could have taken 2 or 3 or 4, whatever. You could have taken anything. So I think let me take it 0. Let me take it 1. Let me take it 2. In that way I did not. No mathematics told me it is 0, 1, 2. I assumed. I said I assumed. So assume means what? Independent. So that's why this is independent. So it depends on this value. This don't depend on this one. So that's why this is called dependent variable. This is called independent variable. Why it is called intercept? Why it is called slope? Why A means 4 and B means 2. Why B is intercept and why 2 is slope? Let me show you with another example. I'll come to the this is mathematics, pure mathematics. I'll come to economics also. Don't worry. These things will be applied in economics. And these are examples of economics. I can tell you, say if it is a demand function, if it is price is dependent on, if it is quantity is dependent on price. Demand is depending on price. So how much price changes on that, demand will change. I'll show it with the function. Don't worry. Let me erase this one so that I get some space. So I told you that A is intercept, B is slope, or 4 is intercept, 2 is slope. So let me draw a graph out of this, then you will understand. I hope you know how to draw a graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This side x-axis. X is not required that much, so whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So when let me put these things here. I hope you know how to put the values on graph. So x value, first value is 0 and 4. 0x this and 4 is this one. So put a dot. And 1 and 6. 1 and 6. See, this is 1 and this is 6. Put a dot. And then 2 and 8. This is 2 and this is 8. I hope it's clear. Now connect them. If you connect, you get this function. This is a curve. You can say it's a supply curve. It's upward sloping. Whatever curve it may be, I am not concerned about that. This is a curve of the function y equal to 4 plus 2x. Now you see the curve starts from 4. The curve starting point is 4. So 4 is the intercept. Intercept means from where it starts. So this value will tell you from where the curve will start. And 2 is the slope. Depending on this value, this will be like this, or some less sloping or high sloping. If it is 3, then it will be like this. Slope very steep, then slope will be less. If the value is say 1 or 0.5, then it will be like this. Let me show it, you will understand. Let me take another function, y equal to, let me keep the intercept same. Intercept is 4. That means it will again start from 4. Okay. And 0.5 x. If this is the value, then what is happening? I have reduced. So that means its slope should reduce. Slope has reduced from 2 to 4. And you see it's positive, that's why the slope is, the curve is going up. If the value, if this sign was negative, this curve should go down. Demand curve, in case of demand curve, this is negative. And we'll explain later. Okay, let me again take the values. Let me take the same value so that you don't get confused. X, Y, sorry. x, y. So if x value is 0, it will be 4. That means this curve will also start from 4. So intercept is 4. That's why I said, no, whatever. If the value is 1, 1 into 0.5 is 0.5, so it will be 1, it will be 4.5, you see. If the value is 2, 2 into 5 is 0.5 is 1, so if x value is 2, this value will be 5, 4 plus 1. How 1? 0.5 into 2. Okay, now let me plot this 0 and 0, 4, same. 1, 4.5, 1, 4.5 here, and 2, 5, 2, 5 here. So if you join, you get this curve, and this curve y equal to 4 plus 0.5x. So what you see? You see the slope is less. I hope you understand why A is called intercept, B is called slope, and x, y dependent variable I explained. Okay. Now, another thing you have in the conceptual form, in the concept, or it will be repeatedly said in your course as you progress, whatever in what university or Bonn University, when you go to second semester, fourth semester, fifth semester, whatever, these things will be repeated: exogenous variable and endogenous variable. So, what are they? Those things? Exogenous and endogenous. This y is your endogenous variable, and this x is exogenous variable. Now, what is that? What is exogenous? What is endogenous? I can edit this one. I hope this you understand and you try it in your copy also, so that you understand it clearly. Exogenous variable means the variables which are given from outside, which are not determined by the model. Endogenous variable means the variables which are determined by the model. Here, as you see, the values of y is coming from the model, either this model or that model. But the values of x are coming from outside the model, from your assumptions, from your any view that let me put it 0, 1 or 2, let me put it 1, 2, 3. It would not differ. 0, 1, 2, I took 0, 1, 2. If I had taken 1, 2, 3 or 2, 3, 4, the curve, shape of the curve would not differ, same. These values would have differed because depending on that the values will differ, but the shape of the curve would have been same. So these are exogenous, outside the model, because I said now it is not dependent on this. So this comes from outside the model. Now let us come to economics. When we talk about economics, what are the things which comes like that? When you talk about economics, you talk about like this. D equal to A minus BP. This is a common model which you have applied in your higher secondary or whatever. But those, of course, those who belong to science who have come, for them I would like to say, demand of any commodity depend on price. Demand of any commodity depends on price. What does it mean? Say the price of jeans which you wear, is very high, say it is 5,000 or 10,000 per jeans pant, the price is 5,000. So at the most you will purchase one jeans or two jeans. But suddenly what happened, since there are pandemic, there are lockdown and pandemic time, people are not coming out. So the companies started that companies started a campaign that you can have a jeans at rupees 2,500. That means they have reduced the price by 50%. Now you have 5,000. So what you will do? You will purchase more jeans. Maybe 2 or 3. So it is not, sometimes it is not proportional. Your behavior depends on the elasticity. That is a different issue. But you will be purchasing more. And if the price is too high, say one jeans is equal to 30,000, you may not purchase a single jeans. You purchase trousers, other trousers, cotton linen trousers. You don't purchase jeans. It may happen. It may happen. So depending on the price, demand moves. So let me give one real estate example. So demand equal to say 10 minus 2p. Now what is happening here? If price is rupees 5, let me see. If price is rupees 5, why I said 5? I will explain. Price is rupees 5. What is your demand? 5 into 2, 10. 10 minus 10 equal to 0. Your demand is 0. That means at 5 rupees you will not purchase that commodity. Clear? It's a chocolate. If the price is 5, then you don't purchase the chocolate. But if the price is 4, what is happening? If price is 4, so you see 4 into 2, 8, 10 minus 2. So you will be purchasing 2 chocolates. Okay. If the price is say 3, what is happening? 6. So you will be purchasing 4 chocolates. 6, 10 minus 6, 4. In this way, if price again reduces to rupees 2, definitely you have to purchase more. Let me see from this function it happens or not. 2 into 2, 4, it's 6. Yes. So as price going down, your demand going up. So this is a demand function, simple. So this one variable, this one variable. This one your constant, these two are constant, this is your intercept and this is the slope, minus 2 is the slope. What is the meaning of that? We will be coming in our further classes, there it will be required. So this is a simple demand model and it is a copy of what we did, just this sign differs. This is minus, in that case it was plus. So that was a supply curve, that's why the curve was going up. Here if you draw the curve out of this, you can practice at your home, taking the values of P from 0, 1, 2, 3 or whatever, 2, 3, 4. If you draw, that curve will be like this. The curve will be like this, demand curve. Okay. One difference in economics and mathematics is that here we do not take in mathematics this is your dependent variable, this is independent variable. In economics, here we take independent variable, here we take dependent variable. Okay, this side we take demand and this side we take price. This is the simple difference, you have to keep it in your mind. So what is happening? You have understood this thing, I hope. What is happening here? You see, when the price was too high, say here. So what was the demand? How to see? From the curve, so let me go to the curve. Okay, here it touches. So this much is your demand. So if the price was say 8, demand was say 2. If the price falls, not this example here, 8 is impossible. Anything more than 5 is impossible here. because at 5 demand is 0. If at 5 demand is 0, at 6 demand will also be 0. At 7 demand will also be 0. If you don't purchase a chocolate when the price is rupees 5, you will not purchase the chocolate when the price is rupees 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. You don't purchase the chocolate at 5 means you want the chocolate less than price 5. So when we put this thing, we put like this. P is less than equal to 5, like this. Either P is equal to 5 while demand is equal to 0, or P is less than equal to 5, that thing. And negative price is not possible. Whatever. This is a separate example where I wrote. Okay, let me put it 4. When the price was 4, the demand was 2. Now let me reduce the price. The price reduced to 3. So what is happening? Let me see. Okay. It increased. It increased to say 4. Again, if it reduces 4, 3, let me 2. What is happening? Oh, it increases to say 6. So this is demand curve. This is for just for recap for science students, those who have opted economics major from pure science background. And I request all of them to go through the HS second year macro and macroeconomics book. These concepts are there. It will be easy for you to understand from those portions. So whatever. So here this D is your endogenous variable. Endogenous. Why? Because demand is determined out of this, out of price. And price is exogenous, it is from outside. How outside? Because when I was writing, I wrote here 8 from my mind. Then I wrote 4. Then I wrote 3. Achha, who told me to write 3? No one. I assumed. I could have written 3.5. I could have written not 2, 1. I could have written from my own. That means it is not given in the model. But what is given in the model? What is the price demand according to this one? That is given by the curve. What is the demand of this price? That is given by this curve. So you can imagine any value here, but you cannot imagine a single value here. These values are given by the model, and these values are your imagination. So that's why these are exogenous and these are endogenous, which comes from the model, and exogenous which comes outside the model. You planned it. Okay. So there are so many economic models like this where you can see dependent variable, independent variable in microeconomics, in macroeconomics, in various parts. It will be required, and it will be dealing with various theories. So demand function is one, then another is a consumption function, where consumption is a function of income. Consumption is a function of income. Okay. So what was that? C equal to MPCY. So we can put C bar also. Those who got it in macroeconomics, consumption is equal to C bar plus MPC, or sometimes it is written as K MPCY. So your total consumption depends on your autonomous consumption, if you remember from higher secondary, plus marginal propensity to consume into income. If your marginal propensity to consume is 0.5, so if your income is 1 lakh, and your autonomous consumption is say 10,000, for those students who are from science, don't worry, this is not so tough thing. You will be getting it in this semester also. In macroeconomics we will be explaining, no worry. Just for you, this 10,000 is called autonomous consumption. That means whatever is your income, you will consume. Say your income is high, you will consume more. If your income is low, you will consume less, no doubt. But if your income is zero, does it mean you don't consume? Does it mean you don't eat? No, you will not die. You have to consume something by whatever the means, by selling your gold or taking loan or whatever. Okay, so from your past savings, you have to consume. So this is that consumption, autonomous consumption, you must have it. And this is, we have a tendency, we don't have a tendency of consuming whole of the income. If your income is 60,000, you don't consume 60,000, you save something and you consume something. So this MPC, we'll be explaining it in detail. What is the MPC? Marginal propensity to consume, the percentage of your income which you consume. Say one person, Mr. X, he consumed 50%, that is 0.5. So his total consumption will be 10,000 plus 50,000. So it will be 60,000. Now, this is a model. There are so many models. Here also you see this one dependent variable, this one independent variable. Here income is independent. In this model, income is independent. It doesn't mean income in all model will be independent. In this model, income is independent variable, consumption is dependent variable. This C1 is autonomous consumption, fixed. It is fixed, 10,000 fixed. And this is MPC, that is also we assume as fixed. So this is your endogenous variable, this one is exogenous variable. So I hope this class make your concepts clear regarding some of the basic elements, that means variables and constant first, then dependent variable, independent variable second, then dependent variable, independent variable, slope and intercept. Those things we have explained with the help of graph. And then exogenous variable and endogenous variable. What are exogenous variables, what are endogenous variables? We also explain those things with some examples from economics. So this much will be sufficient. If you go through the books, then this will be helpful for you. I again repeat, though this is particularly mentioned in Board and University syllabus, these are common for any economics course. You have to have these concepts first. So this much, hope you understand, and hope the way we are dealing it's convenient to you. If you face any problem, please write in the comment section or in Google Classroom. You write it to me. We'll be sorting out the problems. Till then, stay safe, continue your study, and let us hope for the classes to be open very soon. Let us hope that this bad time goes away and we meet again face to face. Thank you.